Matt, talk to me about the Irish 10s. Jack Crowley gets another opportunity. Frawley's hooked. Sam Prendergast, the up-and-coming class act, hopefully, or he definitely is, but he needs a chance, or going to get his chance this weekend. You sort of spoke off air that you think in Portugal, the training camp, Andy Farrell would have set the 3 10s down and said you're all going to play at some part. Do you firmly believe that's the case, or has last weekend sort of scuppered his plans and he's maybe gone something different and said, you know what, Frawley had his 20 minutes, didn't take it, so now it's Sam's chance?
Stu, unless we're get Andy Farrell to confirm it, we won't know. But as soon as I saw Prendergast was selected in the squad, I thought he'll come off the bench for some game. I thought it might have been Fiji, but as I said to you, I would not be surprised if Frawley gets a start against Fiji. And this is the same. I would use the same thing with Ryan Baird. These are fantastic young players. Ryan Baird probably in front of both Frawley and Prendergast. But you've got to give him time. Now, if we're switching on the head, if Andy Farrell picks these guys and doesn't give them time, how do you get these players to improve, to experience, to be ready if there's an injury? What happens if we go into a week where Jack's got the flu or he's sick or he's got a head knock and he can't play? Prendergast's got to step up. The November window is the time where you give guys opportunity and allow them to learn moving through it. It's interesting. Al and I have had this chat before. Before we went to professionalism, we played A games. We had tours, so you played Monday, Wednesday, and your Wednesday team was basically your A team, and that's how guys got experience at international level and learning to be in these different environments. When we first went professional, they almost cut it out. Ireland had an A team. That's where Al and I first met. I was coaching Ireland A, and Al was coming through and playing in it, and then they dropped them all. And now they're coming back. Now they're taking, an Ireland 15 or developing Ireland to South Africa. New Zealand played Munster. Australia played 2 games. They played Bristol and so on in their developing teams to give these guys opportunity. Then when you're good enough, you say, well, when we get a test at home there's no shields on it, in other words, this isn't a trophy, there's not the Six Nations, we'll try and give some of these young guys a go. And I think that's a great selection. And I don't know because I haven't spoken to Andy Farrell about it, but I think Ciaran will get a chance to start a game, and it may very well be that Jack's on the bench for the Fiji game. And I think that's a great thing for the development of both those players as they move through. So I've got no problems with it.
So, Matt, how much do you think the stock of Frawley has fallen from last week?
Mate, he didn't have a good game, but neither did Jack. I don't think either of the 10s.
Do you think in the long run these guys could learn more from that last weekend?
Yeah, and that's it, mate. They're still learning. They're still learning their trade. It's not like Henderson coming out and making that error. Now, Hendo's a leader. He's a lion. He should know better. I am certain that Jack and Ciaran will sit down and watch that game and talk about their tactical kicking game and their plan on a wet night. And it didn't work. Why it didn't work? And no young player should be dropped on one performance. Or no, the older player should be dropped on one performance. That team has earned our loyalty and earned the loyalty of Andy Farrell. And that's why there's so many guys there. But I am certain in the plan for November that changes to that bench were penciled in. Now, I don't think Thomas Clarkson was penciled in. Obviously, that's an injury to O'Toole, but he was brought through. And that's a good thing. That's going to be a great thing for this young man in his future and development, especially as a prop. And he's going to have his arm around Rob Herring and Kean Healy on the other side. How good is that? Andrew Porter there. Guys to learn from. He's going to sit on the bench and he's going to have Ty Furlong there talking to him and mentoring him all week. That's how we learn as players. You learn from the people around you. So I don't see any of that as a panic. I don't see any of it as you're a naughty boy, you play bad, you're out. I don't even see it for Bundee. I even think that they might have said to Bundee, listen, you're going to get rested one of these games and we're going to bring Robbie through. I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it would be a really bad thing if we didn't play Robbie Henshaw through these games to get him back into that level because of his injury and his age profile. He just needs a couple of tests, and so does Bundee. We're going to need him in the Six Nations. We proved that last year. So I don't see any of those changes as A, panic button, B, a dropping, or even C, we're not happy with you. I think this is part of giving players opportunity through these November internationals. And when we come to the Argentinian side, I think we can say the same thing, that Felipe, from the side Felipe Conopami picked against Italy to the side he's picking now, he's trying to move people around and give them opportunities. And then they have France next week, and we'll see a different group again. Well, not too much of a different group, because I think this is close to his best side, barring injuries he's putting out for the Aviva. And I do also think this is the game that Felipe, knowing Dublin and Ireland so well, wants to win more than any other game. So I think we can see that through the selection of all the coaches coming around, including Australia and including the other home nations, where they're looking at it. Probably a little bit more desperation from the Welsh and the English now. Aren't I happy about that? But we're seeing that development coming through in those selections.